4 years ago, on March 8th, 2021, I posted this video. Hey, so I played a lot of games in 2020, so yeah, I thought it'd be fun to share my thoughts and so on. It's one of the first videos I can remember being seriously proud of. I captured all the footage myself, I did all the voiceover on a dinky mic that I would take to school in order to record there too when I had time, and holy shit, this video is bad! I hadn't found my speaking voice yet. I state some just terrible takes on why games like Half-Life 2 and Sonic Mania are good games, and I completely failed to elaborate why I liked the games I liked. I mean, for fuck's sake, I played Sekiro in 2020. It's like one of my all-time favorite games, and I barely talk about it for more than 2 minutes. I spend more time talking about fucking Henry Stickmin for some reason. So I thought, I played some games in 2024, and I'd love to talk about them. So why don't we try this again? I'll be going through all the games I played in order of worst to best, talking about my experiences with them, plus a little extra thing at the end. I'll try not to mention too many spoilers from these games, but if I do, you'll be warned beforehand, so don't worry. With that, these are the games I played in 2024. I love couch play games. You're chilling with your friends or family, you put on a game everyone can enjoy, playing some Mario Party, and at the end of the night, one of you's dead. Who doesn't love that? But around 2015 or 16, we started getting a lot of these indie multiplayer couch play games that emphasized the scramble above all else. Hectic gameplay, quick and slippery controls, and this feeling of controlled chaos. That everything kind of hangs in the balance, and one wrong move could mean losing the match or just completely messing up the rhythm you got going. This first game has all of that, but to a detriment. I played Stick Fight the game. Landfall Games is kind of known as those developers that make games that often go viral in the YouTube gamer sphere for a while, and Stick Fight is one of these games. It should really be no surprise why Stick Fight was so popular back when it came out. Out of all the games I've shown on screen so far, Stick Fight is by far the easiest to actually pick up and play, which is what the genre is all about. Look, this is me launching the game. That was it. I'm in, and now we're playing. But fittingly enough, the almost plug-and-play-esque aspect of this game is indicative of its truer nature. Yeah, I had that to say about the stupid fucking Stick Fight game. Welcome to my channel. Do something about it. Subscribe while you're here. Anyways, this game is really shallow. You spawn, you get a weapon, you kill the other guys. Now, in some other games of this kind, there's usually some semblance of strategy. Different characters might have different perks that make them unique to play, even if there are random elements. Not in this game. What you see is what you get. This, on paper, is inoffensive, but it's the way that the game comes together that just kind of muddies it for me. Shooting is never as accurate as you want it to be, the basic attacks send you off into places you wish they didn't, and ultimately it felt like most confrontations boiled down to one player got a lucky shot, or we're both mashing buttons until someone dies. There is a parry mechanic, I think, but it never really felt like it did anything. The fun, for me, came from the random stages the game shifts through. I particularly enjoy the one where one person kind of becomes a raid boss thing, and the other players have to team up to kill them. That shit is cool. Makes me want a whole game like that, but with, you know, better feeling combat. Actually, I think that's exactly what Crawl is, which weirdly enough released around the same time and is also a couch play multiplayer game. I'll have to play that one eventually. Speaking of playing games that are not this one, a couple years later, Landfall Games came out with Rounds, which seems to be a spiritual sequel to Stick Fight, and possibly a better game? I don't know. This is also a game I have, but haven't played yet. I'll get to it eventually, I swear. Anyways, my point here is that I don't like this game. Not that it's bad, and I don't regret playing it, it's just not where my interests lie. I much prefer it when I feel like I have complete control over my character, and whether I win the match or not is on me. I'll keep it brief as it's not what this video is about, but A game antithetical to Stick Fight, and one that gives me the good gaming feeling, is Samurai Gun 2. Samurai Gun is similarly fast-paced and hectic, but in a way that doesn't compromise controllability. Whenever I find myself in a bad position, I know I put myself there, and I can probably get myself out. This isn't shilling, I just really enjoy this game, and I don't know when I'd be able to talk about it otherwise on this channel. It's like the perfect thing to bridge the gap between me and my non-fighting game friends. It's great. But back to Stick Fight, I don't know where else I would fit this into the script, but I need to talk about the terrible, cringy round end text that pops up on screen whenever someone wins. Because this game would not be the same without it. Who could forget such epic lines, such as Ownage, GG no Re, get on my power level, riggedy wrecked? Like Rick and... on second thought, this game is actually awesome! Stick Fight the game gets 36 out of 100. So recently, well, not recently, but near the beginning of 2024, I obtained a Steam Deck. So naturally, I went looking for games that fit well on it. This is foreshadowing. Controller friendly, relaxing, something I can just chip away at while I'm not home. And I was reminded of a series that had just gotten a bunch of remakes for their older titles. So I played the Final Fantasy I Pixel Remaster. Wait, what do you mean even by then the game was 3 years old? But I thought I was early to the party this time, no! My game backlogging addiction aside, Final Fantasy I. Final Fantasy is one of those franchises that can be very confusing to start playing. As of right now, there are 16 mainline games in the series. 2 of those are MMOs, and more than half of them have remakes or remastered versions of themselves. Actually, before I start blabbing, let's play a game. What Final Fantasy is that? Which is this? It's Final Fantasy II. Which one is this? It's Final Fantasy IV on the DS. Which one is this? It's Final Fantasy IX. Which one is this? It's Final Fantasy I on the PlayStation 1 with FMV cutscenes. Which is this? Well, actually, this is just a commercial. Sorry, the ADHD kicked in a little there. But you see what I'm saying, right? And Final Fantasy I most of all. The game has been on the Famicom, the GBA, the aforementioned PlayStation, the 3DS, the Wonder Swan Color. I mean, I'm pretty sure you were able to play on your fucking Nokia back in the day. But then we got the Pixel remasters of the first 6 games. And now it's pretty clear, to me at least, which ones you should play if you want to experience all the Final Fantasy games. The Pixel remasters keep some features present in some other remakes, such as the music player, the bestiary, concept art, which is always fun to see, but at the same time, adds some new features of its own. You can swap between your characters in the overworld with a button press. There are helpful maps for all the locations and dungeons. You can walk diagonally! There's an auto battle system, and you can toggle extra experience and gil earned after battle. But most importantly, the Pixel remasters feature a beautiful orchestral soundtrack and amazing pixel art visuals, while also maintaining the artistic integrity of this classic RPG. It truly feels like the definitive version of the game. But about the game itself, it's, well, you know, it's the first Final Fantasy. I don't know what you want me to say. You pick 4 jobs for your heroes to have, maybe name them after your friends, and go save the world by doing a lot of tedious fighting. Hey, that's actually a pretty good concept for a game. I wonder. The combat is not bad, per se. I actually really enjoyed preparing for tough boss fights, using Saber and Blink to boost my attack and evasion, thinking carefully about how I used my turn, and keeping my party alive until I won. But for me, the focus wasn't really on the battling, save for one thing I'll get to later. No. For me, what I really enjoyed about this game was the feel, the presentation, and believe it or not, the fantasy. You fight goblins and liches and cockatrices and onkegs and... Is that Tiamat? The queen of all dragons? Are you serious? You journey through dungeons and sunken temples. You save a dying town from famine. You meet elves and dwarves. Shops and inns play an inviting shanty when you're in them. You're sold black magic by shady, hooded mages. But most of all, you're on a freaking quest to save the world by restoring the 4 elemental crystals. It doesn't get more classical RPG than that. This shit charms the hell out of me. I love the blue menus, I love the names of moves being shown at the top of the screen, I love the little character sprites, I love the cool effects that happen when a spell is used. You can get nuked by a robot in this game. This may all sound amazing, but at the end of the day, this is a JRPG from 1987, and the gameplay isn't anything groundbreaking today. That being said, I was able to find something pretty interesting about the battle system in the Pixel Remaster specifically. Something I had never seen talked about before. Right about after the halfway point in the game, you start being able to find these equipable items that also have magical properties when used in battle. A helmet that casts Protect, a hammer that casts Thundara, a staff that casts Heal. The important part is that these items are non-consumable, which means that you're able to use them as many times as you want, as long as you're in battle. Usually the spell on the item is something you've been able to do for a while now, and by now you should have a more powerful version of that spell. It gives the effect of a bit more choice in battle. You no longer have to spend the MP for a full Healara when you just need a low-level heal at the moment. But when messing around with the system, I found that repeatedly using the items along with the auto-battle system allowed me to get into a pretty good loop, and I would reliably win any fight I entered. I would set 2 party members up to regularly attack, and the other 2 would cast low-level spells to damage all enemies and heal all party members with their items. I was able to do this indefinitely. Enemies rarely to never had the single target damage output to outpace the constant low-level party-wide healing. You might think that sounds a bit cheap or boring, but I thought it the opposite. When I discovered this, it gave me a feeling of cracking the code and solving the game. In a way, it almost turned the game into something of an idle or incremental game for me. I would set up my party for auto battle and oversee their health and explore the dungeon. I would do this playing on my Steam Deck while watching the TV with family or talking with my boyfriend or whatever else. Very therapeutic. Final Fantasy I is a very, very simple yet fun experience. You might find it tedious or lackluster, but the game is the most classic of classics. Many recurring tropes and characters in the series started here. And God, when you beat the prologue and you cross that bridge, out of familiar territory and into the unknown, and that text begins to scroll on screen with the main theme playing behind it, man, there's just nothing quite like that. The Final Fantasy I Pixel Remaster gets a 60 out of 100. You might already know that Nintendo doesn't often release sequels or spin-offs without reason. For better or for worse, Nintendo usually requires a game to have an X factor, something that makes the game wholly new or different from others before deciding it's worth developing. And I think this next game is a perfect example of this. I played The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. This entire section will contain mild gameplay spoilers, so if you're not a fan of that, you can go right to this timestamp and see the next section. Hooray! It's Zelda's first game all to herself. Link's been captured, and now it's her turn to save him. Wow! Instead of a sword and a bow, you have the power to copy-paste both objects and enemies. Now they're on your side. You'll be adventuring through Hyrule, solving puzzles, defeating monsters, helping townspeople, and exploring the mysterious rifts that have opened up all over. This synopsis is a bit misleading, but before I rant, let's talk about the good stuff. The central echo mechanic of cloning things to then use later is awesome. The puzzles in this game are great in a way that is entirely separate from puzzles from past Zelda games. This game is designed in a way that doesn't make it obvious the solution to any one problem. You need to cross this gap? Figure it out yourself. You need to push this button from beyond this gate. Figure it out yourself. It reminds me of a design philosophy I personally use all the time when creating encounters in D&D. In order to create a feeling of open-endedness and complete freedom on the part of the player, I don't need to know how you solve a problem. I simply design the encounter and trust that the players will have something at their disposal to deal with it. But here's the thing. As the Dungeon Master, and someone who's been playing D&D for a while, I sort of know the powers and abilities my players have access to. So in the end, I kinda know they'll be alright, one way or another. Compare this to Echoes of Wisdom. Here you have this gap you want to cross. It's on you to figure it out. But really, the game designers know that it's not that difficult of a problem. They've designed multiple different echoes for this express purpose. All different, but able to do this task. This isn't just a bed, it's a means of horizontal and vertical movement. This isn't just a spider, it's a wall climbing tool.
It's not just a boulder, it's a rock.
Exploring your different options of echoes was a big highlight for me. It wasn't always clear what the absolute best echoes were for any given situation, so usually I just ended up using my favorites, which is how you should play every game, by the way. I found this P-hat guy in a cave, and now I can hold him in place and blend enemies apart. Ooh, but now I got these laser eye guys, and I can spawn a lot of them. That's pretty cool. You get the idea. Another highlight for me, interestingly enough, was the side quests. Maybe I'm just a sucker for checking things off lists, but running into quests randomly in the field, or getting to a town for the first time and seeing all the people that need my help will never not be fun to me. I loved helping the Zoras sort out their differences, I loved finding all the missing cats in Kakariko, and I loved trying every single different combo of ingredients to get the best smoothie possible. Exploration was fun, as always, in 2D Zeldas like this. I always love it when games let me fuck off to wherever I want at a certain point, and I can take all the time to do side quests or extra business I like. And the moment I realized I could walk on these trees and they weren't just a natural barrier, that was kind of mind-blowing. However, the topic of exploration does lead me to the things I didn't like about Echoes of Wisdom. It's a great big adventure in Hyrule. Again. Oh boy, it's Eastern Ruins. Again. Oh boy, it's Lon Lon Ranch. Again. Oh boy, it's the Great Deku Tree. Again. And this game is coming off the heels of two ultra-popular Zelda games with generally the same layout. Faron is here, Gerudo Desert is here, and the mountains are up here. Ooh, but this time they're switched around. Does anyone else find it strange that Zelda's first game of her own is a remixed Link to the Past with a different central mechanic? And now that I mention it, wasn't the last mainline 2D Zelda game also a remixed Link to the Past, but with a different central mechanic? And for the record, I fucking love this game. It's just a bit strange to me that they went with this depiction of Hyrule again. Oh, but still, echoes are something wholly unique to Zelda. This changes the very way you think about exploring the same world you know.
Wrong!
This game fails the Bechdel test like hell. Someone, please, for the love of God, tell me why in my Zelda-specific adventure do I get the ability to turn back into Link whenever I want? This happens within the first fucking hour of gameplay. What is the point? I would use my brain to solve these combat encounters, but I don't have to. I will turn into Link, and I will hit it with my sword like I always have. It's faster, the power meter is rarely ever a problem, and it was often more fun than doing it with echoes. Why am I playing this again? It's the same Hyrule, I can just turn back into Link, the races and even the enemies are nothing totally new, and really, the echoes themselves are kind of just analogs for dungeon items that you would have gotten anyways. This Fire Choo Choo Echo, had this been a different Zelda game, would just be a flame wand. The dungeons are so bad. I've been wanting to talk about this since I fucking played this game because, oh my lord, are the dungeons bad. There's one good one that encourages a lot of non-linear exploration. I like that one, but the other ones are either extremely linear slogs or you can just fucking skip them. Yeah, you can skip most of one of the dungeons with a wall climbing trick. That's kinda cool, I guess, but I kinda like the dungeons in my Zelda games. I want to play them, and I want them to be good. They don't make 2D Zelda games like they used to. What happened to my beloved Eagle's Tower and Swamp Palace? And what the fuck is this menu? Like, seriously, I have to pause in the middle of what I'm doing and scroll all the way down to the echo I think I might need? And also, fuck the stamp rally guy, he's fucking weird and I don't like him! Deep breaths. Okay. It's not as bad as I'm making it out to be. Even though I was disappointed with some parts, I did enjoy my experience. Enough to 100% it. No matter my opinion, it is still a very polished and well put together Nintendo game. The old 2D Zelda may be dead, and that pains me, but there's still some fun to be had here, and that I'm okay with. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom gets 65 out of 100. I love couch play games, and I also love trains. It's overcooked, but trains. No, but seriously, Unrailed is one of the most fun party games I've played. You set out on a brand new run. Your goal is a new high score, so let's see how well you do. You need to lay down track for the train as it moves, and you'll have to choose carefully where to put the track, as you can't pick it up again once you do. Getting more tracks requires collecting both stone and wood. Okay, simple enough. You got some tracks now. Ooh, seems like the engine is getting hot. You gotta put that out. Place some more tracks down. You gotta dig a bit through this hill to make a path. Put out the engine. Oh look, a new area! Camels, bandits. Are they supposed to be taking my tracks and throwing them off the edge? That's not good. Gotta make more tracks. Running out of room. The train is speeding up. Gotta put out the engine. Oh no! And that's when it happens. In your rush, you misplace a track. This spells certain doom. The scramble is too much. You are simply not fast enough. The resources dwindle. The train reaches its final destination. Game over. Nice job. This is what the average game of Unrailed looks like. Calm, then ramping up, then before you know it, you're firing on all cylinders, everyone is trying desperately to do their part, but everyone else is getting in the way. And this might be the singular most genius thing about this game. You can play with up to 4 people, so wouldn't it just be easier if you had 3 friends to play with? Everyone would just have one task that they stick to, and it'd be a breeze, right? No! Everything takes up space. You can't just carve a nice easy path through this forest, because now only one person can fit at a time. And remember, you and the train can only hold so much, so you'll be taking multiple trips. Ah, this is drama, this is conflict. I love it. The game just feels right. The balance is just at that point where it's always engaging, and if I mess up, I know it's my own damn fault. If I had to give a critique, I would add that, wow, this game is stressful. In a good way, mind you, but I can only take 1 or 2 runs in a play session before I'm glomped out. This one's really good. I recommend it to any group of friends that often plays games together, if you can convince your friends to play it. Unrailed gets a 69 out of 100. Nice. From something very stressful to something not stressful at all. I played Here Comes Nico. Marketed as a game for tired people, it's pretty much exactly what it says on the tin. You curl up in bed, grab your Switch or Steam Deck, collect a couple of cassette tapes, explore, get rizzed up by a frog before going to sleep. Now, I'm not really an expert on what makes cozy games good, so don't expect any crazy insight here. I've played 2 Animal Crossing games, and one of them was hot fucking garbage.
You need to leave!
Oh, also, coffee talk. That one's okay. Okay, I'll start talking now. I really like this game. I was surprised in how much I enjoyed the movement and platforming specifically. But I suppose this is a platformer, you kinda wanna get the movement down, right? Diving and wall jumping is really fun, and it never got boring. Spam diving in the water feels satisfying, and it made getting around the world really quick and enjoyable. I always smiled whenever I saw something new in the distance for me to climb. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, fucking look at this game. It's adorable. See, never have you colors so grand, so bright, so pastel. Every level in this game just pops off the screen with personality and charm. The semi-diegetic music and ambiance really adds to the whole feel as well. And what a better concept to go with than you being an intern professional friend at Tadpole Inc. You wander around and help those in need, usually with tasks that are pretty benign, which I like, but it's the variety that really shines here. Go fishing, make some art, talk to this guy. I especially like these old gay turtles who have become lost from one another, and you have to carry one of them to the other on your back. But you can only jump so many times with him on your back before he falls off. It makes you think more carefully about how you navigate the place you just were. It's pretty fun. A very enjoyable, light, not too complicated, not too long, cozy game I'd recommend to anyone. Here Comes Nico gets a 74 out of 100. I have a confession to make. I didn't actually beat this one. This entire section will contain spoilers on various locations and bosses from the Elden Ring base game, locations from all over the DLC, as well as the first 3 bosses of the DLC. Well, I fought these 3 first, but you might not. I don't know. Also, if you're watching this and you somehow haven't been spoiled on literally everything involving Elden Ring and its DLC, then how? Just go fucking play it already. Or, if you want to see everything from the DLC but don't wish to play it, I happen to have a full Let's Play of the game right here on YouTube. Go and watch it here. You might be surprised and asking why I ranked Elden Ring Shadow of the Nerd Tree middle of the line on this list. Well, I don't like Elden Ring. Don't get me wrong, I do like Elden Ring. The game is very nice, the storylines and characters are really fun and involved, very Souls-like. Oh, that sucks. Oh, screw this game. And the game has such spectacle. But after 400 hours, multiple playthroughs, and lots of time to think, there's no way this game is as good as some of the other Souls games. Elden Ring has a great big world and lots to explore, but I often found myself simply going through the motions. I haven't explored here yet, oh boy, another Everjail. What about here? Oh cool, another fucking crypt dungeon with a boss I've seen before. I realized that the parts of Elden Ring that I really liked were the parts of the game that emulated older Souls games. Farum Azula, Volcano Manor, the Halig Tree. All tight and meticulously designed dungeons with bosses and loot and crannies to explore. I love it. I bring all this up because thinking about my likes and dislikes of the base game helped me gather my thoughts on its DLC, and specifically why I think Elden Ring was better as a smaller DLC experience. Let me explain. First of all, the size and scope is something I really liked about the DLC. Wherever I went, whatever I was doing, it always felt like there was something interesting around the corner, much more so than the base game. At random, I'd run into a new NPC, a stake of Michaela, a small new area to explore, an item with a foreboding description. It felt very fluid to go from one area to the next, exploring one point of interest and finding my way to the next with minimal downtime, maybe a distraction or two, but not the monument task that was exploring everything in Elden Ring. I specifically want to praise the upward movement of most of the map. For half the DLC, you're climbing ever upward, to the Altus, to the Shadow Keep, to the ancient ruins, and eventually, to the very heavens. The other parts of the game have you descending deeper and deeper, from the river to the southern coast to an ungodly chasm where these great coffins all end up, in the velvety garden of purple. No matter where you are in the game, the Skadu Tree and Mesmer's Black Tower are always watching you. It's an amazing visual, a real kind of storybook diorama, the way everything is positioned so that it's all visible from most angles. And when you look down from Rao or Mesmer's Tower, you're able to see the entirety of the DLC and all the things you've had to get through to make it there. Not to mention some of the individual areas in the DLC too. There's some seriously good-looking shots of areas as you enter them, something From Software has always been good with. I especially love the look of the Shaman Village. I feel like I could die a terrible, bloody death here and I would be happy. It's beautiful. As well as the Abyssal Woods. Oh my god, look at it! Am I even playing Elden Ring anymore? I also enjoy just how packed some of the areas in this game are. Bellerit and its older brother are some of the best dungeons FromSoft has ever made. Rao is a great mix of open exploration and a tightly designed maze that wraps in on itself. And Mesmer's Shadowkeep is one of my favorite castle levels in any game. There's not a whole lot going on in the front, and if you enter from the side, there's a fun area where you run atop buildings of a village flooded to keep out those who seek the path to the Skadu Tree. And look, you drain it like New Londo. Guys, look, it's like New Londo! But either way you go, you find yourself in this area, the Specimen Storehouse. Man, this shit is cool. If there's one thing I love, it's giant impossible libraries. This is a bit what I think the Wanderer's Library from SCP would look like, only if it was repeated infinitely in all directions. It's like a giant hive or something. There are many different sectioned off quarters, and you have to navigate between them. Upstairs, ladders, around the outside, through the rafters. It's genius. It feels like there are 50 different ways to get up and around this thing, but there's only one correct path to get to the big boss. I love it. Speaking of bosses, they're really good in this game. Much better than what came before, which isn't saying much. But seriously, every single boss, maybe save for one, felt like a breath of fresh air after the dumpster fire that was the Elden Ring bosses. Every boss gave me that same feeling of the bosses in previous From titles. I'd get my ass handed to me, then little by little I'd learn. I'd develop a strategy, trying different weapons and talismans. I'd slowly learn their attack patterns, picking up on details in the animation before they strike. It would become like a dance. I learned exactly how many swings I could get in after each attack. This zen-like state, this back and forth, this flow, is what I fucking live for. This is why I play video games. It honestly kinda makes me feel bad for the people that have only played base game Elden Ring. It is by far the most widespread From game. And to think people enjoy it and not what I like, it's preposterous!
What do you mean you don't agree with me?
Jokes aside, this isn't to say that the bosses in the DLC are all substance and no spectacle. No, quite the contraire. This shit is so fucking wild! Who even thought of this? Like, any of this? You know you did something right when you have me screaming at your game like a goddamn idiot at the top of my lungs. Pursue Mail! Let's go! Fucking go! All in all, though it was a bit stressful playing the game entirely on YouTube, and though I didn't really ever beat the final boss because I'm a scrub, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Nerd Tree was a fun experience, and a great expansion to a game I thought was pretty okay. Let's just hope that the next FromSoft game is something more like this one. Oh, wait, what do you mean the next one's a roguelike? Just narrowly below 4 stars, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Nerd Tree gets a 75 out of 100. Sekiro is better. Hey, so that was part 1. If you enjoyed this video and you're looking forward to the next one, please, I invite you to subscribe and stay notified about when it comes out. Recently, I got my first ever payout from this YouTube channel, so to everyone that has watched my videos and helped me get there, then, you know, thank you. Like, really. My last couple videos have both gotten over 100 views. I don't personally know 100 different people that would be watching those videos, so to think that 100 different people went out of their way to watch something that I put my time and effort into, it makes me really happy. So thank you to whoever's watching this, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!
Yeah.
God bless America.
God bless America.